I think there's a contentious atmosphere currently trying to understand what role police officers, gendarmes, or just national security as a whole has inside of France. Is it more a tool of a government, a president, a prime minister, a political entity, or is its purpose potentially geared towards understanding and protecting the citizens of France? And so, from that perspective, I believe we've arrived at another contentious moment inside of the country, trying to understand the larger purpose of what police officers are supposed to be doing inside of the city, especially when we take into consideration issues of systemic racism or over-policing in some of the quartiers populaires that are outside of larger cities inside of France.
We've been speaking to other experts about this over-policing in terms of the fact that some feel that there's a gap between hardcore, heavy-handed methods and no local police. What would you say to that point?
I would have to agree to better understand what these populations are going through. There's definitely a need to have better dialogue within these communities and also navigate how these communities build their relationship with larger policing forces. This is, in terms of over-policing, it's just what these populations are used to, and that doesn't necessarily mean it's okay. That does not mean it should be continued to be accepted by them as well. There needs to be a bigger dialogue. There needs to be more mediation. There needs to be more oversight. We have to have just more discussions in general about what that relationship is or how we continue to navigate it. So we avoid instances like this. We have to have better dialogue as well with police forces and these populations so that we understand what the expectations are at a social level.
And now someone who will have to do a lot of dialogue himself is President Emmanuel Macron. He has cancelled his state visit to Germany in the wake of what's been happening. How do you see him being able to restore calm?
It's going to be a large task that in and of itself, this has to be an individual who needs to allow these populations, as Nadia was talking about earlier, has to allow them space to continue to mourn, space to express themselves, and not have larger forces coming down upon them stopping that. That goes back to the first point of what's the role of the police? Are they a politicized entity for the president who continues to squash potentially adverse reactions, or are they meant to continue to promote a Republican ideology inside of France?
And of course, then there has been the flip side of this. There's been a bit of looting that we've seen on the side. Is this a genuine protest method or just people taking advantage?
I definitely believe that there are different ways to mourn, different ways to express themselves. Looting tends to always come up in these discussions, but we shouldn't use it as a tool to pull away from the importance of what individuals are doing to express themselves against these injustices or the death of Nael as well.